Eritrean president, Eritrean government have made a new move. They are forming a pressure group in the region which they want to use for their political security and other motives. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Good to be with you. Exclusive information for you, which I have confirmed through Sudanese sources. In fact, one Sudanese source reported it, then we got confirmation from other sources too. After that, I thought that I should share it with you and make a video on it. Eritrea is emerging. It will emerge as a key player in Sudan, it seems. Ethiopia, nowhere to be seen directly. UAE is there supporting RSF, and Ethiopia is on UAE side. But Ethiopia does not have a pressure group in Sudan which it can use. No other country has this type of pressure group in Sudan. Yes, RSF is backed by UAE, but on Sudanese military side, uh, it seems that Eritrean government will be one of the key players because it is working on forming. It has formed, in fact, a pressure group on Sudan-Eritrea border. Eastern Sudan shares border with Eritrea. Everyone knows that. You are familiar with the borders. And for years, Eritrea has been having influence in Eastern Sudan. Eastern Sudan had relatively less military presence in the past. And now, when there is war between RSF and Sudanese military, there is very little deployment of Sudanese military in Eastern Sudan. It means Eastern Sudan is open to Eritrean government, Eritrean military, Eritrean intelligence agencies which are freely operating there. Sudanese Civil War erupted around 2 years ago. Military led by Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, supported by Egypt, Eritrea, local tribal elders on one side. RSF, mainly backed by UAE, is on the other side. Rapid support forces have suffered territorial losses in recent months. Rapid support forces have been pushed away from Eastern Sudan. They never made it to Eastern Sudan, but they have been pushed out of large parts of Khartoum too. Now they're resorting to drone strikes. Yesterday, they conducted drone strikes on electricity infrastructure in Umidurman, and that led to disruption of transmission of electricity in Khartoum. Khartoum had almost no power, no electricity yesterday because of drone strikes by RSF. And last week, RSF conducted drone strikes on Port Sudan, which is being used as a capital by the Sudanese military, saw a series of drone strikes by RSF, precise strikes on oil depots, on the port, near airport. Everywhere, strategic sites were hit in Port Sudan. So RSF is resorting to drone strikes, but its main personnel presence is in Western Sudan. Sudanese military is now trying to sort out, it is trying to find a way to counter these strikes, drone strikes by RSF. Eastern Sudan, no Sudanese government, Sudanese military control here. Why? Because military is fighting RSF on the fronts. RSF wanted to creep into Eastern Sudan, it could not. It's far away from Eastern Sudan. It means that Eastern Sudan is now being run by Eritrean government. Eritrean government has been training and arming armed groups, Sudanese armed groups. But the armed groups are not just from Eastern Sudan, Darfur based, and other armed groups have also been training in Eritrea. Their fighters were trained, they were armed, and then they were deployed to Sudanese Civil War. This development is a little different, which I'm sharing with you. Three Sudanese armed groups, which are based in Eastern Sudan, on Sudan-Eritrea border, they have formed an alliance. Eritrea is backing this alliance. The three armed groups are Eastern Sudan Liberation Movement, led by Ibrahim Dunya; National Movement for Justice and Development, led by Muhammad Tahir Suleiman Betai; Bija Congress, led by Musa Muhammad Ahmad. These armed groups have formed an alliance not just for military purposes. Rather, they have formed an alliance which covers security, political, and other types of coordination. They're forming a joint political charter, political declaration, their demands. They have formed a joint media committee. They have formed a joint committee to work towards the formation of full-scale alliance. A sort of pressure group has been created by Eritrea in Eastern Sudan. The three groups say that they have been asking Sudanese government to deploy military in Eastern Sudan, but the military was not deployed. And Eastern Sudan's role in national politics was ignored in the past. But now these three groups say that they want the due share of Eastern Sudan in Sudan's politics. So they are forming a charter of their demands, political demands, which they will share with Al Burhan government. They want to have their share in power in Khartoum or in Port Sudan. Eritrea backing them. It means that Eritrea has created a political group, political come military alliance in Eastern Sudan, which will be controlled by the Eritrean government. All these three movements which I mentioned, Bija Congress, Eastern Sudan Liberation Movement, National Movement of Justice for Justice and Development, all these three movements have their basis, training bases in Eritrea, close to Eritrea's Sudan border. Hundreds of their fighters are being trained on Eritrea side of the border. But now the training is not just for military purposes, but the political alliance has also been established. It means that now Al Burhan government will have to adjust this alliance if it manages to defeat RSF, or if it forms an inclusive government. This alliance will also have a share in power. And share of this alliance means Eritrean role in Sudanese politics. Sudanese military is not in a position to be deployed in large numbers to Eastern Sudan. Military is fighting RSF. RSF still a force to be reckoned with. That is why Eastern Sudan, it seems, is being run by Isaias Afwerki's government. The presence of Eritrean intelligence agency in Eastern Sudan has been confirmed several months ago. In some videos, I told you about the activities of Eritrean intelligence agency in Eastern Sudan. Why? Because there is no presence of Sudanese military, large-scale presence of Sudanese military, Sudanese intelligence agency in Eastern Sudan. Thanks for watching.